Well, good evening. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. And I tell you, we have a fun show for you because all of our guests, Kim Stark's here, Scott Littlejohn, we have Kiger Plews is going to be here, a trainer. We have already been talking and we've been having way too much fun before the show even begins. So we got a lot going on tonight. So I want to thank our sponsors, Chris Dental, Family Dentistry. In case you weren't here last night, over the weekend, I ate a peanut and my tooth broke, my crown broke. My single only crown that I have broke. And my first thought was, I looked at my wife and I said, "Oh my God, there's somebody's tooth in our peanuts." And she's like, "What?" I'm going, "No, somebody's tooth is in here." She goes, "Feel in your mouth." And I did. And there it was gone. So in like an hour and a half, he had the temporary on. And I'm getting my new one. So now I've experienced, and guess what? The shot, I felt nothing. I felt absolutely nothing from the shot. So Chris Dental is looking to help someone. All I want for Christmas is a new front tooth. Someone with you can't have a missing tooth, but a tooth that's cracked, maybe it's damaged, maybe it's ugly. We want to fix your tooth for Christmas. So you just need to get a hold of me, rick@rickdancer.com. Send me a picture that I can see the whole tooth, like do that and everything so I can see it. And we're going to get you a new tooth, but it has to be a front tooth and it has to be one that has a root. We're not going to do a root canal. This has to be something we've got going on here. The other thing I want to tell you about, last night we also, where is my video here? We showed you my friend Tim. He is with Green Theory deodorant. That's him making deodorant in his own home. And he is selling this stuff like crazy because last night he's offering it. And I'm going to put up the code here. It'll come up in just a second here. So if you go on to Green Theory, go greentheory.com and put in, the code is GT for Green Theory, Rick Dancer, all capitals. You'll save $1 a stick. And he's going to give $1 a stick to our friends at Veterans Legacy. So Veterans Legacy was on last night. They do work with the homeless veterans. And Tim's going to give $1 a stick for the rest of today to that organization for that. So we want to thank him for that.
So now that our deodorant is melted,
and that's Tim right there.
We need to pour it into the filling trays.
So yeah, he makes it right in his house. So anyway, I wanted to promote that. Also, Green Saturday is this coming Saturday with New Leaf Hyperbarics and Wellness Center. And so you can buy as many treatments as you want for the rest of the year all at once. And for only $65 for the hyperbaric for massage and $35 for the light bed. And like I said, that's a huge deal, but you can buy up the whole year this Saturday, but you have to do it on Saturday. You just call in and they're going to be there with their whole staff, and they sell thousands and thousands of dollars worth of these things. So that's the time to get it if you're really thinking about doing something like that. Did I get everybody else in there? Oh, and Alvord Taylor is another one of our sponsors. Great organization, have homes throughout Lane County, with over 60 people with different abilities that they house and take care of and give them lives and treat them well and take them around the community and introduce them to people. And they are always looking for employees. It's a lot of staff it takes to take care of folks. They have a bunch of homes, and these people live in those homes, and they have things that they want to do, and they need people to help them in the community to do that. So they're always looking for staff, and the phone number's up there. And if you want to call and find out about a really great position where you're doing amazing things for people, they're a good organization to be with. All right, let's get the show started. Bill London's up first, but first we got to tell you why you're here. With this, that's what I don't understand.
From the 11:20 a.m. and 93.7 FM KPNW studios, I'm Bill London, and
look at you,
Sarah. Look at that introduction. Isn't Rick such a charmer?
Bring the lion out. We had a sketch artist do a drawing.
Tonight on our show, we're going to have
music therapy has been shown to relieve.
It's time now for Rick.
Hey guys, don't you think it's kind of fun that you get to comment on the news? There's a cost. Oh yeah, there's a cost. People come after you. Like, I think that's why this is so much fun.
Now it's time to get real. Now it's time to get real. I mean really real. It's a big dose of really real with Rick.
I'll see you at 5.
Good evening from the News Radio 1120 AM and 93.7 FM KPNW studios. I'm Bill London, co-host of the KPNW Wake Up Call that you'll hear on these fine radio stations mornings 6 a.m. to 9, except for those mornings that, well, maybe I just didn't respond to my alarm clock. It happens. Don't knock me. All right, here's a look at some of the stories we're covering tonight. Well, state officials finally today gave us a little bit of leeway on the mask mandates. Oregon Health Authority Director Patrick Allen announced that all masks no longer need to be required in outdoor crowded areas. So football games, anything outdoors, you no longer have to wear them. Indoor mask mandates remain in place. When is that going to go away? No word. Also, Colt Gill, director of the Oregon Department of Education, announced that they're introducing the test to stay protocol in schools. This means after a kid's exposed, they can stay in school if they take a COVID-19 test and it comes back negative. Vaccinated individuals are already not required to quarantine after exposure. By the way, the latest report card on Oregon schools for the 2020 through 2021 school year came out today, and what it shows, well, enrollment declines and setbacks for kids on track to graduate. So we'll start off with on track to graduate. Generally, what's looked at is ninth graders and whether they're on a track to graduate in 4 years. At the highest, we were at 85.3% a couple of years ago. That has crashed 12 percentage points. Right now, only 73.6% of ninth graders are on track to graduate in 4 years. Also, the state has seen a major, over the last year, decrease in students, 18,030 statewide. Locally, you can look at the Springfield School District, which is down 744 students over the last school year. Eugene's down 639, and Bethel is down 257. As far as classroom sizes, well, if you've got fewer kids in school, your classrooms are going to be smaller. As a matter of fact, what we're seeing in the Eugene School District right now, they have a median class size of 24. Bethel has 18. Springfield is the lowest with 13 kids per classroom. So the next time you hear school district leaders saying we need more money because our schools are just overcrowded, 13 kids in a classroom, that's almost private school levels. The Oregon Employment Department received new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics showing job openings and turnover going into the fall, and the economists say in September about 3% of U.S. workers just flat out quit. In Oregon, it was 4%. That totaled more than 70,000 employees. State employment economist Gail Krumenauer says right now there are a record number of job openings statewide. And she also says there's two factors that may be keeping people out of the workforce right now. And one of the concerns is the pandemic and many not willing to be vaccinated. And many, because of that, just quit and or retired. Another group dealing with a pandemic say they're just afraid to go to work because, well, they don't want to catch the Rona. The other reason that they say may be part of this mass exodus from jobs is that household incomes statewide are higher and that individuals may just be staying home and going to a single earner household platform. Well, the long-delayed campaigns for the 2020 Oregon legislature were given a green light Monday by the Supreme Court, as we told you yesterday, when justices dismissed a pair of lawsuits blocking a redistricting plan that was approved strictly by Democrats in the Oregon legislature during a special session September 27th and later signed off on by Governor Kate Brown. And right now, candidates are scrambling to turn in their paperwork because they're either going to run again or they want to run anew. One of those who turned in her paperwork is none other than House Minority Leader, Republican Christine Drazen. She has now announced that she wants to run for governor. She claims over the last few months she's been encouraged by friends and supporters to consider running for governor. And she said, in her words, it's clear that Oregonians want change. I have never heard a candidate say that. Oregonians want change?
Yeah, where'd that come from, Bill?
What happened? She also said that she believes that Oregonians are tired of backroom deals, broken promises, and failed leadership. They also say they're tired of the state consistently being in the national headlines for the wrong reasons. All right, so not looking at the Democrats or Senator Betsy Johnson, who's running as an independent, Drazen in a Republican primary is going to be taking on Bud Pierce, a Salem oncologist, who also ran in 2016 as a nominee for governor and failed. Sandy Mayor, Stan Pulliam, political consultant, Bridget Barton, Baker City Mayor, Christine McQuiston, and Medford businesswoman, Jessica Gomez. All right. Well, that's a look at the stories we're following. So I would just really like us to get real, a kind of real, a Rick reel.
Oh my God. You know what? I think I want to run for governor, Kim. You know, you could be, hold on, let me get you here. You could be my campaign manager, and I'm just going to be real Rick for governor.
I think people would like that if you were to run for governor.
Because there's not enough people already throwing their hats in the ring. You know, and then and we've got, except I don't want to run against Betsy because I think she's actually running as a non-affiliated voter, and that's what I am. So maybe rather than me running, I'll just put my support with Betsy or something. Or maybe I'll elect you. I don't know.
No.
How about Coach Kiger Blues for governor?
Yeah, let's do that. Coach Kiger, because
let's put Kiger on. He's going to be in here pretty soon, and we'll put him on, and then vice governor. We don't have one of those, but we'll make it up. Scott Littlejohn. And
let's do all.
He's coming up to talk about Medicare, how you can do the best on that. So we'll have him as that. All of our clients will be the cabinet.
There you go. We make our own cabinet.
Matt McCarl with New Leaf Hyperbarics. He'll handle all the hot air. So
Yep, he's got the hot air. Yep, and we've got a Chris Dental.
He can massage our comments and things like that, and then Chris Dental will just bore right down into the problem and take care of it. You know?
I mean, we really do have quite the crew if you think about it.
I'm telling you, we could single-handedly do this. I think it could happen.
So, I love that. Oregonians want change.
Yeah. So let's get serious here. Do you believe in aliens? Do you think there's aliens?
Yeah, let's get really serious here. Let's think about this.
People ask me all the time if I think there's aliens, and I always say no, and they go, no, there really are. And I said, I think I live in an alien planet right now, but I don't think.
And everybody's going to space, so maybe we'll find out soon enough.
I'm going to call and see if we can get you on a live in space.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Michael Strahan's going now. So
I saw that when I was at the gym. Speaking of the gym, this portion of our show is sponsored by Elements Health Clubs of Lane County. And we have 3 gyms, count them.
That's
Which ones are they, Kim?
We've got Springfield, and we've got West Eugene, and we've got Oakway. Yeah. Okay. So we've got 3 locations, but Tiger is, which one is he at, Rick? Because you work with him.
He's at Oakway, and let's bring him in here. Tiger Blues Fitness.
What's going on, guys?
Hello. You're gonna lecture us tonight. I have a feeling. You guys, Thursday's the big day. Tiger's gonna give us tips.
Yep, big day Thursday. A lot of food consumed. A lot of football watched, I would imagine, but just a few tips for everybody out there if you're trying to avoid overeating or just kind of going overboard with the sedentary lack of activity during the holidays. So always remember. Go ahead, Kim.
I was saying, give them to us, because here's the thing. Here's what it smells good, it tastes good, and it sounds good in theory to go ahead and just stuff yourself. But I swear you pay for it for a week later. I'm miserable. So it's never worth stuffing myself. I don't want to get to that level. So tell us some tips, because I think we can all use them.
Yeah, there's some really basic ones to start off with. I mean, everybody would tell you, use a smaller plate. Don't show up on an empty stomach right off the bat. That's a big one. Just like not going to the grocery store when you're hungry. You don't want to show up to a huge meal with nothing in your stomach, so you just start gorging yourself. which kind of goes into the next one, which is eating slower. Making sure to take the time to converse with family, talk to people about how they've been doing over the last year, catch up with people, and not just rush through eating and consuming all your food. That's another big one too, because it takes your body a little bit of time to catch up with the fact that you're actually full.
We have to talk to family.
I know.
What's
Well,
that?
this year you get to talk to
We
family.
have to talk to our family. Oh my God, what is this all about?
Rick, you don't have the excuse anymore. He used COVID last year as his excuse. Now we're with
Well, I was actually just talking to a client about that the other day, about how once you get past the whole "how have you been the last year" conversation with your family, generally there's not a whole lot else to talk about. And so that's when you just kind of sit down and start eating most of the time.
mindless eating, right? Mm-hmm.
Yep. But trying to keep yourself full in other ways too. So focusing on higher fiber foods at the dinner table or snacking. When you have the snack trays come out beforehand, which I know a lot of people do, focus on a lot of the nuts and things like that have a lot of fiber in them, are going to keep you fuller throughout the meal, so you're not gorging on a bunch of dinner rolls and things like that. Making sure that you're drinking plenty of water and not overdoing it on the alcoholic drinks, because a lot of times people will mix those with really high sugar drinks like soda, juices, things like that. You're going to bring in a lot of extra calories that way. So I'm not saying don't have a drink or two. I will be the first to say that I will probably have a drink Thanksgiving, but limit how many you have, and making sure that you're not coupling them with a bunch of sugary drinks as well. And then,
you crave more junk food when you're drinking those. I mean, or is that just in your mind? Yeah.
Oh, big time. Well, and especially not even just junk food, but when you're around all that good home style food. I mean, when grandma's gravy's sitting on the stove and you're a couple drinks in, it looks a lot more appetizing, even though you have a full stomach. And then I think this kind of goes hand in hand with another guest you guys have coming on later. Maybe he can talk to you a little bit more about it. But eating a normal breakfast beforehand and not, say, fasting before the meal. That's another big one, too, to avoid that gorge, so to speak. And then make sure to work out still. Stick to your normal workout routine to a certain extent. I'm not saying go to the gym and get a hardcore workout in and avoid your family, unless you really want to avoid your family for some reason. But just make sure to stay active, move around more after your meal, just to kind of get things to help digest. And those are some really easy tips you can follow to help avoid falling into the trap of overeating or gorging during the holidays.
Sure. Yeah, I know. We never feel that great afterwards, do we? It's just not worth it. Rick brought in Scott.
There's Scott.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
I have this friend, and his name's Scott, and one of his plans is to starve himself the week before Thanksgiving. And so how does that work? Oh my gosh, he's right there.
It's amazing. It just showed up into the conversation. Yes. It's to each their own on this, but yes, I am listening, and oh man, I'm feeling the shame here, because I've been looking forward to Thanksgiving for a while, and I'm probably not planning the way that I should as far as how to approach it. So,
I don't think Scott's alone. There's a lot of people who do the intermittent fasting thing. So there's a lot of people who do that now.
I started doing it lately, and I honestly, it's kind of brought some focus and clarity in a strange way, and it's a good thing. I say a few prayers when I miss meals, and I feel like it's brought me some clarity and some focus in the rest of my life. But
what do you pray, Scott? Like, God, please make me
I pray,
feel
please
full.
let Thanksgiving get here sooner, because I'm hungry. I need it. This has got to happen soon. And I
just for you.
But no, it's been interesting, because the health and fitness part, you've got to take care of that part in your life, because if you don't, it just is a downhill slide, and you're not going to enjoy those times where you get to have a Thanksgiving meal, where if you're fortunate enough like me to have a wife who's just an incredible cook and puts on the whole 9-yard spread, I plan on enjoying it, but I also plan on doing a workout that morning.
Tiger has something for us right now, so that's why I brought you on here. So before we're not done with, because Sarah has sent me some pictures of the new room too, Kim. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, while we have little John here, I think Kiger should give us a little workout. So what should we do, Kiger?
All right,
let's go.
Oh man,
we're gonna bust out 10 jumping jacks.
Oh god,
5 burpees and 5 push-ups.
Burpee.
Yep. Let's do
They
it.
were just doing them. Okay.
Let's do it.
I got to go off camera for this.
Come on, Rick. Let's go. Let's go, Rick.
I'll go off for the burpees.
Come on, come on. Then get those burpees in. Get those burpees in.
All right.
Kim, don't really do them.
As soon as you're done with those burpees, don't forget you got 5 push-ups.
Look at this, how fast.
Oh, there we go.
5 push-ups now.
Oh, Kiger,
See,
thank you so much.
Scott will be great now. Now he can eat all he wants on Thanksgiving. He's good now.
Look at
Scott's ready.
You know what's
All
funny
right.
is I have a ongoing text message with all my brothers, and we'll call out a number during the day, and you have to just drop and do that amount of push-ups when you get.
Oh, I love it.
And
That's a good idea.
I love it.
Well, yeah, I mean, and so everybody chimes in with, "Oh, done," and then drop 10 more or 15 or something like that. And it's funny because the text just started again today. It's been like a month since one has come out.
Show them this,
So-
and they'll be impressed. They'll be impressed.
So-
All right, Scott, don't go anywhere. We're not done with you. So hold
yeah.
on. I'm
Thanks a
gonna hold
lot,
on.
Rick and Kiger. That
Kiger,
was
thank
great.
you so much for your help.
No problem, guys. Always around to help. And if you're ever interested in taking one of my classes, 10:30 Monday and Wednesday at the Springfield location.
Okay.
All right, Kiger, thank you.
No problem. Have a great one, guys.
And you guys, he really is a great teacher. I mean, it's really energetic, and you do a whole bunch. He does a class where you're doing all kinds of different things, so you're not bored. It's not like you're doing 100 of these and 100 of those. He keeps you moving.
Right,
and
right.
people really should try and head in there because it's really good. So Kim, I wanted to show you. So Sarah sent me
let's
this
see the
video.
news in the
Sarah,
room. Okay.
our Elements in Springfield, and this is the new room.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to be starting classes soon. And it's a whole program where you go through and you're competing with other people in the gym, not necessarily at the same time, but there'll be different classes and different exercises. And it's a whole program that Sarah will come in and talk with us about more. But it includes writing. It's all kinds of different calisthenic exercises and just stuff that is making you work really hard like that.
And there she is on that. Okay. And that's Sarah showing us right there. That's the TRX and then the bikes behind her. Very cool. I love the blue light.
And that's at the Springfield location. But if you belong to the other gyms, you can also use that. And I don't know how you sign up. That would be something you'd have to talk to the folks at Elements about. But anyway, it's always doing new things, always trying something different. And again, Kiger's one of our coaches, and we have a whole team of trainers. If people need trainers, and we can take care of everybody.
I love it. We talked about last week about how people are going back to the gym, and I'm so happy to see it. It's so much more fun. So
all right. So Kim, you're going to be here tomorrow.
Yes, I will be here. So I'm going to give some upcoming events for us for Thanksgiving. So I'll send you some video on that. And then we can talk a little bit. Do you want a little bit more health stuff real quick?
Oh yeah. If you've got something, I'd love it. Then we'll get to Scott. I love that.
That's okay. Let's do that. So, we were talking to Kiger about kind of some tips on how to eat healthy or just to not gorge and overdo it. And interestingly enough, there's a book actually. It's called The Fate of Food. I think it's coming out next month, and it's by Amanda Little, and she talks about how agricultural practices are changing and evolving based on like the demand and the disruptions in the food chain. And obviously, COVID kind of opened our eyes to that issue. They taught us that our food systems aren't really designed to adapt to those changes. Well, now it's also climate change, and we're having issues, of course, with growing food and things like that. So the food banks have major shortfalls. And so people are getting really creative, and farmers across the world, everywhere, she's traveled all over, are coming up with new changes in what we grow and how we eat. And she was just mentioning that the Thanksgiving this year, the stuff that we're eating for Thanksgiving, it's going to look a lot different a few years from now. And it's just really fascinating. So if you get a chance to check that out, and I can put that link. And also a lot of food waste, of course, continuing to happen. 20% of the food that each household buys never gets eaten. And 2 people throw enough food each day to feed 1 person. So basically just kind of watching your food change. Lane County Waste Management has created a site, and they call it Eat Smart Waste Less, which I'll also put the link up there. And they just have some tips on how to like prep and shop for food without producing so much waste. And they really did a good job on putting that together. So just kind of keeping an eye on, how much you're throwing away, trying to portion it out to feed your family, and just kind of keeping that in the back of your mind that people do need food still. And it is an issue that we're facing. And again, we'll put that link right here in the chat for this show. So you guys can check that site out as well. And just something to keep in mind for Thanksgiving.
All right, Kim, thank you. And we're going to tape up the show tomorrow, but I will see you virtually.
Well, yes. Okay. You'll see me then. I'll have some upcoming events. It'll be fun.
So have a nice Thanksgiving and give the
I
kids a
will.
hug.
Yeah.
And your
Everybody,
husband.
yep. I'll give them a hug. All right.
Okay.
Have a good one.
See ya. Bye-bye. All right. Now let's get to Scotty. Hey, Scott. So
Hey.
Scott is here. I love your commercials on KPNW. You do.
Oh.
I mean, you could tell you worked in radio because you're doing a really good job with them.
Thank you.
But I think you're really explaining too. From those, I just get a better and better idea. This is the time of year when people, in fact, I don't know if she's going to watch tonight, but somebody just is so weird. She wrote me today, who's that guy who's helping people with their Medicare? And I said, oh my God, you're in luck. Scott Littlejohn is on tonight. And she goes, I need his information. So she may be watching or whatever, but
right on. Yeah, no,
what this time of year is.
It is. It's time. It's double dip time. It's actually time for Medicare. Annual election is going on. That's going through December 7th is when that ends. But we also have regular health insurance for folks under 65 is in full effect right now. And that is going through the 15th of January. But really, it's kind of a silent deadline of December 15th if you want to have it start January 1st. And then, hey, Donna, I'd be happy to help you out.
she's who got a hold of me. Donna, good. I'm glad you watched. And his information, his phone number is rolling along on this screen, Donna. So just grab that number down there and then he can help you out. So
yeah, shoot me a text or give me a buzz.
What's the biggest mistake people make, especially this year, because there's more offerings and things have changed. So they might not get everything they're supposed to have, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously the biggest mistake is not calling me, because that's just a given right there. But sounds good, Donna. But really, the big mistakes I'm seeing right now are on the health insurance side through Obamacare or the healthcare.gov. There is a ton of money in there. I am seeing people who you can be an individual making up to $140,000 on your taxable income and still get help on that program as far as getting premium paid for by the government. And I mean, like it or not, they essentially doubled what they were giving last year to people. There's a couple. I helped some folks. They were in their late 50s, early 60s. They were making over $140,000, and they still got credit to help offset the cost of their insurance plan. It is incredible out there. You can get these catastrophe kind of bronze plans. For those of us who really don't want to go, don't want to do, don't really care. But if you can get a plan for $1 a month or $2 a month to have a plan, to know that at least you got that in your back pocket if crap really hits the fan. I don't know why you wouldn't take advantage of that.
Yeah, and then if you had a business, you could write off everything you can to make your income lesser. And then you take that money and put it in an HSA and then just pay the buck. You know what I mean? That's a great way to go.
There's multiple plans available. There's HSA plans or that health savings account plan. That's what it stands for. But there's also plans out there where you can get a deductible down at $100. You can have copays of $10 or $20 to go see a specialist, $5 to fill your drug prescription, and your out-of-pocket maximum that you could pay in the year, $1,000. So
and most people
I help people navigate this system, and this is what I usually say is for one, I consider myself an educator and not a salesperson. But secondly, I don't tell you what to do. I just show you what you can do.
Right.
I'm not there to make your decision for you. I'm there to help you make a decision for yourself that's going to work for you. And understanding how to apply is a huge part of what deductibles and benefits might be available to you. And so many people just miss out on that because they don't even know how it works, or they have a basic understanding of how it works.
Well, and I think, I think there's just a lot of people too, especially since more people aren't working, they don't realize how many benefits there are. Because, when I had a job at KZI, you'd go into the lady every year, Karen Madison, she'd get my forms, fill them out, and away we went. And then getting out of that into my own business, all of a sudden you start going to someone like yourself and it's like, wait, there's so many ways to do this that I pay so much less now than I ever paid when KZI was paying this huge lump sum.
Yeah.
Out of my check, I'm paying way less.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of aha moments this year on people's faces saying, I could do what for what? Really? Yeah, I can help you do that. And as far like a business, let's say you have a business insurance, a group policy that you're doing for your business. There's benefits available to you. There are types of group plans out there where you get to get that big tax credit that's going to individuals as the business owner. So not only do you get to write off the cost of your plan that you're writing for your employees, but you get to enjoy the tax credit at the same time. And there's ways to do that. It's it can be very confusing on both the Medicare and the Obamacare side of things. But I really take pride in breaking it down, showing you at a simple level how it works, and really tailoring it to what your life and what your needs for you or your family or your business are going to be.
You just said her comment. Donna said, I went to the website. It's so confusing, too many options, and not well explained. And that's what you know how to do. And that's why you, and it doesn't cost her anything. I mean,
And that's the thing. It doesn't cost you any differently, whether you do it yourself or you let me help you do it. The way that I actually make money on this thing, because I wouldn't be here and I'm here to make a living too and help people. But when my producer number is on your application, the companies pay me a commission. And it's a very small commission, trust me. But when there's enough people, it adds up to where, I can support my kids and my family. And, so I've been doing it ever since the thing started, I've been doing it. But there's no cost to you to use my services, whether you take it or not. I figure if I can educate you on how this thing works and get you into a position where you're comfortable with making the decision on the plan that's available, usually you're going to make a decision that's really good for the both of us. And so, I'm here to help. And the dental insurance, I can help you figure that out too, and make sure you can see Dr. Browland.
I'll tell you what, and you guys, just so you know, just for fun, Scott and Dr. Bratland are friends. Yes. And Scott and Dr. Bratland's brother, who is Any Lab Test Now, who's also one of our clients, is also friends. So it's like our whole little world is, and we're talking.
Those guys are awesome. Yeah, they're just the best guys. And,
even moving to Montana for me, like I call Adam and goes, hey, I got a friend who's in real estate. He'll help you. And the guy got me everything I needed. It's just like connections. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So you're not just doing Medicare. I mean,
I do it for everybody. If you're not working, if you need to know where Oregon Health Plan might work for you versus this program and where the cutoffs are and where the start and stop is, I'm about developing that roadmap for you to understand what's available to you, and helping you get there. It's just, I don't know. I just enjoy getting to see people again. I do in-person appointments. I do virtual appointments. I'm in Eugene. I'm located right over off the Ferry Street Bridge area, and next to a brewery, so you can go grab one at Cold Fire when you're done. Because he's also my neighbor at home and neighbor at work. Hey, Stephen. I would, I'd appreciate getting to work with the folks out there who are just in the market for this. And I think you might be surprised what's available to you. The credits are just way bigger than you probably realize, that you're eligible for things that you didn't know you might be.
All right. Scott Littlejohn Insurance. He's your man. His phone number's on the screen. It'll be on there. And give him a call and go talk to him. Donna, you'll have a nice time talking to Scott. I promise you.
I promise it'll be worth it. So.
Hey, thanks. And thanks for letting us pick on you about your holiday plan.
I'm looking forward to that turkey. So we'll see you next time. Thank you, Rick.
All right. See you later. Okay. One of the things that Brian over at Elements Health Club really likes, he calls me and he says, I really like when we do stories that you did when you went around the state and you went traveling with your wife and you go all over these places. And Kathy and I are going to start doing that more when we get to Montana. That's our plan. But when we were back there a couple of years ago, we went to Enterprise, Oregon, which, if you don't know where that is, it's in Wallowa County, the farthest county to the east and the northeast in Oregon. And a lot of people have never been there. They call it the Swiss Alps of Oregon. And it's a beautiful place. But in Enterprise, Joseph gets all the attention. Enterprise doesn't get as much attention. And I think Enterprise is like it's a really cool old town, beautiful place, lots of stuff to do, great brewery, Terminal Gravity, very good beer. And they have this theater called the OK Theater that a family came to town, a musical family. They're almost like the Von Trapps, except country. They bought the theater, restored it, and this is what Kathy and I found.
To the OK Theater. We are in downtown Enterprise, Oregon. I'm Rick Dancer.
I'm Kathy Dancer.
And we want to thank our sponsors, Toyota and your Northwest Toyota dealers, and
the Wallowa County Chamber of
Well, it froze. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can get this moving again. All right, hold on, guys. I'm going to remove that. We're going to try this again. I don't know what. StreamYard, what is going on with you tonight? Okay, so let me do something here. I'm going to pull that out and we're going to start that little Hummer over. There is a way. There's a will. There's a way. Video file. Hold on. Don't you love live television? This is how it works. Okay, and I'm going to try it again.
Welcome to the OK Theater. We are in downtown Enterprise, Oregon. I'm Rick Dancer.
I'm Kathy Dancer.
And we want to thank our sponsors, Toyota and your Northwest Toyota dealers, and
The Wallowa County Chamber of Commerce.
My name is Bart Budwig, and I'm going to play a song called Damn Good Start that I wrote.
all right.
Howdy, easy cowboys.
Oh, wow, look at that. I bet you used to stand behind there, didn't you, Judy? All right. Here's the guy. So tell us who you are.
Daryl Brand, how are you?
We're doing well, thanks. I had no idea this is what it was. So tell me about your family, and I mean, you're a contractor, and you just happen to have a musical note too.
Yeah, we play some music. I grew up in a musical family back in Maine, where I'm originally from, and I drove through here literally 20 years ago this month in August, and ended up through that trip getting a job at a ranch and married the rancher's daughter.
Oh,
there we go.
I married the rancher's daughter, and now I got a theater.
He's also a lawyer, but you know, you gotta have. But so we met literally 20 years ago, and we were married in 2000, and moved back down to Wallowa County in 2001. Bought the OK Theater in 2013, and it's just been kind of a fun ride ever since. You know, we've been family.
So show us inside. Give us a little tour. Come on, you guys.
We've recently been doing some remodeling over the last couple of years. We were awarded a historic Main Street grant, and we were able to add things to the theater that never been done. We've added a new heating system, first floor ADA restrooms, and rewired most of the whole building. And then we, over the last two winters, we added what's the proscenium and opera boxes here. So,
Oh man.
So we keep picking away. We've gotten a majority of the work done, but it's a kind of a labor of love and lots to get done.
Yeah, damn good start. Howdy, ease a wandering heart. Walk out the door is a damn good start. It's a damn good start. Yeah, damn good start.
So what are you trying to do with this?
So it had been closed for about a year. Movies were switching over to digital production, and we're a more music-oriented people, but we decided to start trying to bring in as high-quality musical acts as we could to the county. You know, we had one of our first big successes was Eric Bibb out of Finland, and then Nikki Bloom and the Gramblers, and then from there, it just kept growing. You know, the musical world is a small world, we found, and people reach out and reach back out to us. The West is a big place to cover, so bands are looking. We ended up being a very good kind of break between Boise and Portland.
Yeah, damn good start.
You three girls grew up in this town, and Judy on the end over here, your parents owned it.
My grandparents owned it. They bought it from Hackbarth's, many years ago. And my grandmother was an entrepreneur deluxe. She bought films directly from Portland. They came directly up here. They never stopped in between.
And we'd all have sleeping bags out and sleep a bit.
So what is it about Wallowa County?
Well, I love Wallowa County because it hasn't changed much over the years. And when we were growing up here in the 1950s, the main thing to do was to come to the movie theater. And they had great movies. And like I was saying a few minutes ago to my friends, I remember watching Gone with the Wind here, like in the 1950s.
So to see this,
It's marvelous, and I never miss a show. We have to thank the Brand family. They're a show in themselves with their music.
Well, I lay down last night. You know I tried to take my rest. You know I lay down last night, baby said I think I'd go and take a stroll out.
why a theater?
Well, it's for us, I think it was the fact that it was a community space. We wanted to see something to bring, I don't know, 2012, wouldn't you say, Christy, that Enterprise felt a little depressed? You know, there was a few things happening. Wild Carrot had moved into town, and they were doing some good things, rebuilding their building. But it was just really quiet. And then when the movies went away, and we just felt like it'd be good to invest into our town. And it was a lot. I talked to Christy about it a lot, and you know, being as busy as we are with 5 kids and running a construction business, it was like, okay, this is a big undertaking, but we decided to do it, and it's been very rewarding, I'd say.
Yeah, we've had so many community members just rally around us and help out so much that it's been a wonderful experience.
What an economic development, and you know, not just for the community, but for like people like us coming into town, and you've got to be bringing people to town.
Yeah. Some of the big shows, like when we had Asleep at the Wheel, they're, you know, a 10 Grammy act out of Texas. I mean, we had a double sold out show, so 700 folks through in a day into the theater and then through town and staying places. So so buying the theater was definitely, we felt like we love the idea of a space where, I don't know, I think we've said this before, but there's so much division in the country and anywhere now. But I feel like at the theater, when everybody's focused on music or something, just enjoying a beer and some popcorn or whatever that they want to have, it's just been a fun experience to see people that I know of diverse background and thought, and sometimes from out of town and locals, and it just creates a really interesting atmosphere.
Said I went down, sit down to the church house. You know I got down on my knees to pray. You know I got down on my knees, pretty baby, said not a word to, not a word to, not a word to, not a word to say, not a word to say, not a word to say.
Oh my God, you're really good. That was awesome. I was like, dude, he's the real deal, man. Oh my God, that's really good. All right, so that was the OK Theater. I had no idea.
Another backstory that is absolutely amazing.
You guys, we know basically we're told there's this theater, you need to go in and we're going to find this, but that was just absolutely, that's what we love about Exploring, is you get into the town for a few days and then you really start getting to the heart of some of the stuff that goes on, and that's because you start really understanding who the people are.
Yeah, and here you've got this theater and you've got a whole family who's musicians, and they're being able to use this as their backdrop to what they love and what they have a passion for. It's amazing.
And using an old theater that everybody remembers, renovating it, modernizing it, and then also using it to create community. That's what rural Oregon's all about, creating community, preserving it. We want to thank our sponsors, Wallowa County Chamber of Commerce.
And Toyota and your Northwest Toyota dealers.
So Toyota still gets credit all these years later. Kind of sad watching that. Judy Botham, the lady whose grandparents owned the theater, she passed away about a year ago. And my train's coming by right at the inappropriate time. And we met Judy when I worked at KUZI, and I went to Joseph, Oregon to do a story on Wallowa County and Joseph and all that stuff. And so I was out shooting a bunch of video, and I got some pictures, and we went into town, and Judy worked at this little antique store, and we didn't know her. And I just walked in and started talking to her, and I said, "Hey, would you talk to me about Joseph and Wallowa County?" Excuse me. And she said, "Yeah." So Judy starts talking, and she was just awesome. So she was in this series, but after we were done, she says, well, tell me about what you've been taking pictures of. And I said, my favorite picture so far was I was up at the cemetery with the Wallowa Mountains in the background, and there's a little bench that's made out of iron or bronze, and it faces that mountain, and there's like a little cowboy on it. And I said, I imagine that somebody comes here and sits where their relative is deceased and stares up at those mountains. And she looks at me and she has little tears in her eyes and she goes, that's my husband's headstone. And her husband, Shirley Botham, was one of the first bronze artists to come into Joseph and turn it into what it is today. So yeah, she has a lot of history. She was a super sweet lady. And we'd stay at her little cowboy retreat when we'd go there. She took his studio and made it into an Airbnb, which is still available because her daughters are now running it. But kind of shocked me. I forgot Judy was in that story. When you watch it, you see that. And yeah, Judy, you will be missed by a lot of people, and especially the town. That's why it's so important to talk to people. There's no such thing as a stranger. You go in and you find what I love about what we get to do, Kathy and me, is you go in and you find people, and there's never a stranger, because those people will become the loves of your life. And that's what I got for you. So thank you, Elements Health Club, for sponsoring that. And Brian, for you loving those kind of stories, because it gives me an excuse to bring them back. Also for our health tips, Kim Stark, Tiger Blues. If you're looking for a trainer, you guys, he's the guy. Scott Littlejohn, if you're looking for insurance help with what you're doing. And of course, if you need dental work done, he can crown you in less than 2 hours. Dr. Michael Bratlin, Chris Dental. All right, you guys, we will be back tomorrow night. We will not be here Thursday and Friday because, like you, we're going to spend the time with our families. Sorry, I'm a little choked up. Share this on your page. Let other people know what's going on. Yeah, thank you for being with us tonight. I really appreciate it. Have a happy Thanksgiving.